Novocaine.
Good day, I'm Tracy Pa with the Midday News. The 34th Annual Senior Education Officers Conference is currently underway in Popondetta Northern Province. Over 100 senior education officers and representatives from government agencies, churches and development partners are in attendance. This year's theme is Accessible Quality Education Pathways for All. It is derived from Focus Area 6 of the National Education Plan 2020 to 2029 Education Pathways. The week-long conference began yesterday, Monday, September 22nd. In focus is technical and vocational teacher education and strategies, flexible open distance education, the status of inclusive and special education, and teacher training programs. Education Secretary Dr. Uke Kombra said that programs like vocational education and training, FORWARD, and the work of the National Literacy and Awareness Secretariat are all crucial pathways for learners. Committing criminal offences is not the way to live, not after 50 years of independence, says Commissioner of Police David Manning. Manning said this when responding to an illegal protest conducted by a community in Nepa, Southern Highlands Province, following the suspension of Kumul Petroleum Holdings Managing Director Wapu Sonk. Police Commissioner David Manning described the illegal protest staged by the community in Nepa as unlawful. Manning said the country just celebrated 50 years of independence. Committing criminal offences is not the way to resolve issues.
It's not the way we want to live the next 50 years of our independence. At some point, we're going to have to realize that in order to live in a just and safe and secure society, all of us need to be law-abiding citizens. There's no secret formula to it.
Manning said there are avenues to seek justice. Taking matters into our own hands will not solve a problem.
The disrespectful manner in which what has happened in an obviously unlawful act in Nepa.
He warned communities, especially in the Highlands region, that the Royal Papua New Guinea Constabulary will use excessive force if citizens do not abide by the country's laws.
This country has claimed independence or statehood maturity. Surely our professionals in this country, both Papua New Guinean and expatriates, who work for our people, should exercise and demonstrate that maturity and professionalism as well.
Meanwhile, the deployment of mobile squad units and members of the PNGDF to Nepa has prevented the illegal protests from further escalating. Students from Morobe Province attending the University of Goroka have joined the wider Morobe community in mourning the loss of late provincial member Luther Wenge. Wenge's death is widely regarded as a profound loss for the people of Morobe and the nation. He was labeled a champion of education in the province. Yesterday afternoon, the Morobe Students Association at UOG rubbed mud over their bodies as a sign of mourning. Governor Wenge passed away on September 13th. just 3 days shy of country's 50th independence anniversary. He was one of Papua New Guinea's most vocal leaders on the floor of Parliament. A Lion State ceremony for the provincial member for Morro Bay is planned for Thursday, October 2nd, 2025. The program begins at 10 a.m. with the arrival of the hearse at Parliament House. Late Wenge's casket is to be received by Speaker of Parliament. The ceremony is expected to last 2 hours before the casket is taken to the Sioni Kami Memorial Church for the funeral service. The late statesman is expected to fly home for burial on Friday, October 3rd. Dementia has recently been identified as Australia's biggest killer. Now, a new study has found vigorous exercise can reduce your risk of developing dementia later in life. For the first time, scientists have linked exercise with a particular protein in the blood associated with brain health.
Davidson runs, swims and does weight training. The 53-year-old knows physical activity is one of the ways to reduce her risk of developing dementia.
I'm working towards getting where I need to be, and I think that's positive, just taking one step at a time, trying to make those positive changes.
Have you got a preferred arm?
She's part of a study where scientists have, for the first time, been able to work out the impact exercise is having on the levels of a particular protein in the blood, known as GFAP.
Which is linked probably with the level of inflammation in your brain, so a good marker for your general brain health.
The more vigorous the exercise, like swimming and running, the bigger the reduction in the damaging protein.
This finding is really significant because it shows for the first time how a blood-based biomarker that's indicative of dementia risk is associated with a really key and accessible modifiable risk factor.
But the association is less for people who have the ApoE4 gene, like actor Chris Hemsworth, the strongest genetic risk factor for dementia.
You shouldn't look at genes as determining your fate. Genes should be like, I've got this gene, and now I'm going to go look at what are the best risk factors for me to address so I can reduce my risk of dementia over time.
This study adds to growing evidence that almost half dementia cases could be prevented by addressing lifestyle factors like sleep, social engagement and physical activity. With dementia now the leading cause of death in Australia, a focus on prevention will be key to reducing the burden of the disease.
Hong Kong rushed to prepare for the arrival of Super Typhoon Ragasa on Tuesday, with official warning of a serious threat comparable to some of the most destructive storms in the city's recent history. Ragasa was generating winds with maximum sustained speeds of 220 kilometers per hour at its center as it plunged across South China Sea early on Tuesday, according to Hong Kong Weather Service. Across the city, residents started stockpiling daily necessities. Qantas has suspended all flights to Hong Kong for 36 hours as the Asian financial hub prepares for Typhoon Ragasa, one of its strongest super typhoons in years. Hong Kong said its airport would remain open, but operations could be scaled down. In sports, the Burleigh Bears have qualified for the Hostplus Cup and BMD Premiership Grand Finals after an extraordinary weekend of rugby league across Queensland's premier male and female competitions.
In the Hostplus Cup, the Redcliffe Dolphins appeared to have the Burleigh Bears measure in Saturday's prelim final after leading 16-6 with 7 minutes remaining. In front of a parochial home crowd at UAA Park, the Bears refused to surrender as Credence Toya and Takitao Mapapalangi crossed for late tries to break the hearts of the Dolphins. Josh Rogers landed both conversions to steal a stunning 18-16 win for the Gold Coast club. Just 24 hours later, those scenes were replicated at Bishop Park, where a bumper Sunday afternoon crowd packed into the Nananda ground for the clash between the North Devils and Wynnum Manly Seagulls. This time it was the Devils who delivered the great escape, coming from 2 points down in the dying minutes to snatch an 18-16 win following Manasseh Kayo's diving heroics in the right corner. Remarkably, there was one final twist in the final seconds as Seagulls took a shot at a 2-point field goal, which very nearly resulted in a try to Wynnum's Selvin Kobo, who chased the bouncing ball into the in-goal area. North will now play Burleigh in next Saturday's grand final at Kayo Stadium, with Rowan Smith's Devils just 80 minutes away from a 4th premiership in 5 years. Terry Longwood, TV1 Sports.
The annual Prime Minister's 13 Rugby League clash between PNG and Australia is on again this year, coinciding with our 50th year independence celebrations. The matches are scheduled for Sunday, October 12 at the Santos National Football Stadium in Port Moresby.
The annual Prime Minister's 13 Rugby League clash between PNG and Australia will kick off at 9 a.m. with the Junior Orchids to take on the Australian schoolgirls. Then the Junior Kumals play the Australian schoolboys at 11 a.m. The PM's 13 women's then take the field at 1 p.m. with the highly anticipated PM's 13 men's clash at 3 p.m. to round out what is always an exciting day for players and spectators alike. Papua New Guinea Rugby Football League Chief Executive Officer Stanley Hontina said this annual clash is a great opportunity for players from both countries to impress their coaches for further national duties. Hontina said these games always provide a pathway for players from both countries, and the opportunity this provides for our juniors and the school children from Australia is quite significant, as many of them can get selected to the senior sides, to feeder clubs, and possibly the NRL and NRLW. All teams will be named next week in preparation for what will be another and trading day for fans in Port Moresby. The Prime Minister's 13 games started in 2005 with the men's, while the women's joined in 2027 and then the juniors in 2023. The PM's 13 weekend will kick off the end-of-the-year international biggest sporting event, the Pacific Championships, starting on October 18 till November 1, 2025 at the Santos National Football Stadium. Terry Longwood, TV1 Sports.
And that ends our news update. Do join us at 6 tonight for the main bulletin. Bye for now.
A long time ago, we heard about a curse associated with jade mining.
I feel like we're tested every minute of every day.
Get out of the way!
Oh, Jesus. No matter how bad it gets, it's never going to get bad enough for me to stop. Everybody's fight ends at some point. How much can you handle? How much can you fight? Where's your line?
Jade Fever, streaming now on Outdoor. He's the doctor who makes the rules.
In there is where we ignore everything else. Don't ever pull this again. Pump his stomach now. Put him in trauma 1. We need your help. Let's go, come on.
He's the one who breaks them.
If it was your kid, you would bet on a miracle.
Clear.
Get the girding, Connie!
I am a doctor here. I do my job. Nothing gets in the way of that. Nothing.
ER, Mondays and Tuesdays, 9 p.m. on Warner TV.
can laugh, we can sing, la 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 la. We can make anything. Hold my hand, make a magical land.
When let us get together, we go alakazam.
We can run, we can slide, we can hide in a box. Are you ready for some fun with the Alpha Blocks? Alpha Blocks!
Ooh, am I fast or very fast? I'm very fast. It's a very nice day for a race, and we will vroom to victory. On your marks, get set, go.
Cab. Cab, follow that V. Dig.
Down we go.
I'm a jolly jaybird. I can fly. Jet. I can fly.
Lovely. Vroom, vroom. Vroom.
Ooh. Huey!
Run!
Yahoo!
Hold tight, Alpha friends. This will be exciting. Ooh, you'll never catch me.
Ooh. Zoom.
Everyone ready?
Where's P?